not to mourn, but to celebrate a life. And this is to let all of us here recall the life of Sister Debbie Yap Yoon, the beloved wife of Brother Yo, whom we are all familiar with, and the mother of Sister Kimberly. On this day is the 49th day of her passing in this very hall, in this very house. And today, in Chinese culture, the 49th day is the day whereby everyone seeks closure. This is culture. And in the Buddha Dhamma, anything which is wholesome, which is good, we accept. Just like Chinese tea ceremony has nothing to do with the Buddha Dhamma, but it is a very good ceremony where we pay respect, where we honor our ancestors and our seniors, and that we maintain. And the 49th day after the passing of a person in Chinese culture is the day in which we seek closure, and it's the last day of the so-called mourning period. And today, instead of mourning, we gather here to celebrate a life that is well lived, a life that will live on in the memories and the behavior and the life of all whom she has touched. Let us begin by paying homage to our teacher, the Lord Buddha, by chanting the Namo Tassa 3 times. Let us put our hands together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Now, may I invite Sister Kimberly and Brother Yo to please light the candles in front of the photo of Sister Debbie. Lighting a candle in the Buddha Dhamma symbolizes the light of the Dhamma. The Buddha has given us the timeless Dhamma. And the Dhamma is simply truth. It lights the way like the GPS of our lives, giving us a direction, helping us to face life with meaning. Lighting a candle is very symbolic because it is light that helps us see. Without light, all of us will be blinded. Let us now, it's like a stick of incense, and let us invite Brother Yo, Sister Kimberly. Incense, as stated in the Dhammapada, is fragrant. Our good works, the Buddha said, is like the fragrance of incense. You do not need to go around boasting and telling, I did this, I did that. Whatever good works Sister Debbie had done, the fragrance of that will permeate in all directions. Can you please offer the incense? Wonderful. Now we will have the offering of food. Many of you may not be aware, but in the Buddha Dhamma, are many teachings the Buddha gave us on the rational ways in which we respect our seniors. And one way, of course, the Buddha said, is to take care of whatever they hold dear, and we even make offerings. These offerings, if the departed is to know, they feel honored, they feel touched that my descendants remember me, and they offer. But the greatest of offering, the Buddha said, is not food, is not candle, is not incense, is not money. The greatest of offering, the Buddha said, is the offering of Dhamma. Like today, we are all gathered here because of the occasion of Sister Debbie's 49th Day Memorial. And if you had learned some Dhamma because of the memorial, that is highly meritorious. And that when we dedicate the marriage to her and she rejoices in it, that is the highest merit. Can we now symbolically just offer the food, please? Yes. Sister Debbie, if you are aware, your husband, your children offer food for you. Thank you very much, Brother Yoon, Sister Kimberly. So I was talking with my dear brother from SBJA, Shah Alam Buddhist Center, who will, of course, carry on this rich tradition in the near future. And we have a memorial service. And brother was asking me, are memorial services common in the Buddhist culture? I'd say it depends. Some centers we have. And one of the very first memorial service that I conducted, Brother Ju Sing's son. That was one of the very first memorial service that we conducted. A memorial service helps us to recall a life. We celebrate a meaningful life. And a meaningful life is not about being as rich as some rich people in Malaysia, or being popular like a Korean oppa, or being very highly educated. Nowadays, our universities produce hundreds of PhDs. Hundreds, I'm not joking. That doesn't mean that your life is a very good life. It is not being perfect, because very few of us are perfect. But it is being real in this very cruel world. Being humble, being able to share ourselves, whatever little skills we have, be it cooking, be it teaching, be it nursing, all of which I'm informed Sister Debbie did. All three, cooking, helping the sick, and teaching. It is about being able to touch the lives of others. And Kimberly informed me at Sister Debbie's passing away, her former students were so touched. And they similarly were so touched when they remembered the teacher. Then you realize that this person had led a full, happy, and contented life. It doesn't mean how much money she has left behind in her ETF account. It doesn't mean how much property she's going to give to Kimberly. The thing that she has given to Kimberly that is the most invaluable is education. Sister Debbie had found meaning in life, even though she has been confronted with an illness for a long time. But what did the Buddha teach us? Dear Dhamma family members, life is a terminal illness with 100% mortality. The Buddha taught us that every day you must recall the fact that you are going to die. He called it contemplation on dying. I prefer to use contemporary words because if I say meditation on dying, people will go, oh, how do you meditate on dying? But the Buddha said, you must contemplate every day that you are going to die. And he said, at least 3 kali 1 hari, you must contemplate that. Because when you contemplate that, you're going to live your life differently. Your priorities are going to be different. If what matters, if you quarrel with your daughter-in-law now, does it matter in 6 months' time? Does it matter in 3 months' time? If the answer is no, forget about it. Does it matter if you're dying? It doesn't matter. Forget about it. So our happiness is not determined by anything other than by our own attitude. And surely I have always shared this in funerals, in memorial service. I wish every one of us in this room will know exactly when you're dying. Because if every one of us know exactly when you are dying, I assure you, you will live your life very differently. You will use every day, every hour, every month, every week very, very well. You're not going to waste a lot of time doing silly things. a lot of time quarreling, a lot of time quarreling over our political antics in this country. If you are dying and you know that you're going to be dead in 1 year, you're going to use that 1 year very, very carefully. Now I ask everyone, how do you know you're going to be alive in 6 months, 3 months, even 2 weeks? None of us know. So because of that, a very important lesson the Lord Buddha taught us: contemplate, be aware that all of us are in fact dying, and you will use your time well. And I hope you realize that good health is merely the slowest way to die. Okay? So I love this little comic strip by Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin is talking to Hobbes. I don't understand this business about death. If we are just going to die, what's the point of living? And both of them stare into space. Now, honestly, every one of us is going to die. So what's the point of living? The point of living is to have a meaningful life. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. That is why my dear brother there in Shah Alam serves with all his dedication to the Shah Alam Center. And the same brother asked me as I walk in, hey, how come you're popping up everywhere? I tell them, if I'm invited by a serious Dhamma family, be it Ipoh, be it Penang, to conduct a funeral service, and I am available, I will go there. Because as I shared, attending one properly done memorial of funeral service is better than you attending 10 Dhamma talks. Because when you attend a Dhamma talk, you tend to be all zoned off. But when you attend a funeral service or a memorial service of someone you love, someone you know, you'll be paying full attention. You will learn the Dhamma. So to die well, we must first find the meaning in life. And this is a daily protective reflection. So as I said, if you found out that you are dying, would you not be a nicer person? Love more? Try something new? Well, you are. We all are. So death of someone we love can be a harsh but very effective teacher to make us better human beings. Now I have to say, grief never ends. Grief actually never ends. If I have to take the Yo family here, and I now take that computer screen and I draw a circle on that screen. At the time when the mom passed away, that circle is very big. It covers almost the whole screen. Now that circle, Brother Yo, Sister Kimberly, will never disappear. But your screen becomes bigger. Because of love, that circle will always be there. But your screen becomes bigger. You got more things, more external things that will take up your attention and your time. And that circle becomes relatively a smaller circle. So grief actually never ends. It is a passage. But grief is the price we pay for human love. All right? That is the price every one of us will pay because we love. Okay, every day now you read in the news how many die in Ukraine, how many die in Russia, how many die there. Are you moved? Are you touched? Most of the time we just nowadays scroll down, no more turn the newspaper page. Why? Because we are not directly involved and we don't know the person. But if you do know the person, then there is personally grief. So the Buddha taught us these realities of life, that death is certain, only the time of death is uncertain, and at the time of death, nothing can be of help except your spiritual practice. So Brother Yo asked me that I must take some time to explain to relatives, family, and friends. Why is it at Debbie's funeral there is no ching ching chang chang, there is no jumping over fire, there's no breaking of tiles, etc., etc. Things very common in our Chinese culture. Well, if the family member who has recently passed away had specifically requested for all those things, that means the family member who is dying specifically requested, please burn me ABC, please conduct ABC, then I would say, please do so, because that is the person's request. But if the family member did not request for it, and the family member is educated in the Buddha Dhamma, then you will realize that all these are a show for the living. Funeral services are not for the dead. Funeral services are for the living. It is to give the living closure. It is to give the living that they are doing something. It is to give the living a chance to show their filial piety, etc. So what did the Buddha say? The Buddha at one point met a group of people busily chanting, thinking that by doing so, the person who is dead will rise to heaven or some realm or something. They were doing all kinds of sacrifices for the person who is dead. And the Buddha was asked, and the Buddha gave a very good analogy. There was a pond nearby, and the Lord Buddha said, you take oil, minyak. It comes in a casket. In those days, clay casket. The Buddha said, you put it in that pond. Now you take a big stick and you break the casket. What will happen to the oil? It will float to the top. Why? Because it is the nature of oil of a system. Do you think the oil will go down to the bottom? It won't. Similarly, he said, now you take the same clay basket, fill it with rocks, you put it to the bottom. Now you take a big stick and you break it, so all the rocks will spill onto the bottom of the pond. And the Buddha said, now you get all these Brahmin people, chan, sacrifice this, sacrifice that. Do you think that will float to the surface? It won't, because whether we chant for him, whether we offer a sound, become what he is going to become. So we must understand why there is a big difference between culture and what is being taught. What is being taught by the Buddha is very practical, very realistic. Why do we offer flowers? Because flowers are so beautiful and yet so fragile. Within 2 days, they will wither. The Buddha keeps telling us this is the best illustration to you and me of impermanence. We are all like this flower. So it is not impermanence that makes us suffer. When this flower withers, do you cry? We don't, because we know that this flower is impermanent. But what makes us suffer is that we insist that things be permanent when they are not. And none of us here in this room are permanent. We'll pass away. But those who are alive who refuse to accept that reality, that we will suffer. So one of the things the Buddha taught us is to be able to realize the truths of life, not the delusions that somebody tells you, believe in me, you will be cured. Oh, you didn't cure it, you die. You say, okay, it's okay, believe in me, you will go to heaven. These are delusions. The Buddha taught us realities. The flower will wither. We will die and we will become something else. But what makes our dependents suffer is that they want us to be permanent. And we are not. So in the Buddhist approach, life and death is actually one continuous thing. To the person who is unenlightened, we see birth, we see death. To the enlightened person, he does not see birth, he does not see death. He just sees a continuum. In the Heart Sutra, it is said, 不生不灭, 不垢不净, 不增不减. Nothing is added, nothing is destroyed. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That is basically a very profound teaching for us to realize. Whenever there is death, there will be re-becoming. So death is as natural as birth. And the fact that it's natural and a necessary part of life. I do not know how many of you have seen movies whereby people do not die. But there's a very good movie called The Man from Earth. It is about a man who cannot die. So he was alive from old days of the Roman Empire all the way until today. And of course, he became a professor of history. And one of the big regrets in his life is he could not die. He saw everyone whom he loved die one by one. He saw his family die one by one. And he wants to die, but he cannot die. And he tells in that movie, do you know how sad that is? I wish I can die. You can see that movie on YouTube. It's called The Man from Earth. It's still running on YouTube, free. So once you realize this, you will realize that death is not that bad. And anyway, from the Buddha Dhamma viewpoint, we become. That means after you die, you are recycled. The Buddha did not use the word recycled 2,600 years ago. He used the word bhava. When you die, you B-H-A-V-A, which means you become something else. So when you realize that, you will realize that it is a continuous stream. And we accept death as part of life. It makes life complete. So please, brothers and sisters, like Sister Debbie, live a life of significance. Everyone can be great because anyone can serve. Now let me give the grieving family members an example. If you look at that candle, you will see it's burning. That candle, because candles are so common 2,600 years ago, the Buddha often used candles to illustrate his teaching. We are like that candle. It's burning. So if Sister Kimberly is to look for her late mother in the form of that candle, after that candle has finished burning, she will not find the mother because that candle has burned. But where has that candle gone? Where has that heat gone? Where has that light gone? It hasn't disappeared. It's somewhere. If that candle had been used to heat up essential oil, then you get the smell of essential oil. If that candle had led to Brother Jim reading a book, then it made Brother Jim more educated. But it has never disappeared. The form is gone. But the effect of that candle is never gone. Another example, a modern teacher called Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, who died just recently, said, look at the cloud. Does a cloud ever die? A cloud never dies. It becomes rain. The rain becomes river water. And then we masuk the reservoir, and then we drink that water, it becomes us. So Sister Debbie's form has left us. But his teachings in his students will continue. His influence on his family will always be there. And people always look at us and say, hey, brother, you look like your father, or you look like your grandfather, etc., etc. But that's exactly what we mean. The grandfather is still in you. He's still living in you. So, yes, Kimberly, Ma was a very simple and down-to-earth lady who's not concerned about birthday and anniversary celebrations. She's kind, caring, and generous for everyone except for herself. And this is directly quoted from Brother Yoon, wherever he is. No idea where he's hiding. Okay. But this is directly quoted from Brother Yoon. Sister Kimberly, please realize your mother would not want any one of us here to mourn. She will want us to remember her. Remember all the good things, the kind things, the lovely things. Forget the quarrels she had with you. Forget the time when she scolded you and you were naughty. That is not the important thing. Remember all the good things. And every one of us here as fans, Dhamma family, please remember, she will be very happy that all of us are here to remember, to say goodbye, to seek closure. We live our lives doing significant things and not just materially successful things. Of course, we need to earn a living. Nobody owns a living. And academic and financial achievements doesn't matter much in the winter of our lives. All right? It really doesn't matter much. And I used to talk about my own death, and my wife would say, shh, don't talk like that. After so many years, she has given up. She has accepted it, that this fellow will be like that one. But there is nothing to mourn if a life is lived well. If a life is lived well, we celebrate that life. Now, when the body is broken and suffering much, death is in fact a happier option. When your car is broken, you change car. You try your best to repair, but it will reach a point where it's time to change car. In the sick bed lies our beloved in the final hours of her life in this shattered body, in this very room. It is important for us to separate our loved ones from this shell of a sick, broken body. The body which is scarcely breathing is far from the beautiful being that you had known and loved for years. Give her permission. Let her be free. You know, one of the most important and beautiful things in the Buddha Dhamma is we give permission to the dying person to die. Many people are shocked when I say it. We actually give permission to the person who is dying. So please remember, we are all grown up. We are all well taken care of. Do not worry about us. You may depart in peace. Many people are shocked when I teach this. When you say that to someone whom you're very close to, I agree it is difficult. You have to be well learned in the Buddha Dhamma to be able to do that. When my own late father was dying in a hospital bed, and we all knew he was dying, I had difficulty saying it. Then my first daughter arrived at the hospital room, and she managed to say to her yaya that we are all grown up, that we are all big. You do not have to worry about us. You may depart in peace. And with that, he left. He transited. The word in Buddhism we use for death is transit, like a transit launch. So there, Sister Debbie, I now speak on behalf of all your loved ones and family and friends in this room, from all your loved ones here, from your family and friends, for anything we had done wrong in body, speech, and action, please forgive us. If you think that you had done anything that might have offended any one of us in body, speech, and action, we forgive you. Thank you for a life that is well lived. Everyone loves you. That's why they are all gathered here. Now, this is something I will read out for the comfort of family, friends, Brother Yo, Sister Kimberly. Dear brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, please recall that Sister Debbie had taken refuge in the Buddha, her foremost refuge, the greatest of jewels. By this truth, she will have peace and comfort. She had taken refuge in the Dhamma, the greatest of medicines. By this truth, she will have peace of mind. And we brought Dhamma books for all of you in this room who doesn't have a copy to please freely take one. Sister Debbie will be most happy that you learn the Dhamma. She had taken refuge in the noble Sangha, the best field of merits. By this truth, she will have peace of mind and comfort of body. Her taking of refuge in the Triple Gem is of great merits. Her stream of consciousness will be at peace. She had given offerings to the Sangha. She had kept the 5 precepts. She had supported the Sasana. She had helped the poor and the needy. She had not done what will lead to future distress. She is established in the Dhamma of the Buddha. By the power of these truths, she will have peace and comfort. Having lived a life of significance, there is no need to cry when a loved one dies. It is a good death. And this, from the Samyutta Nikaya 42.6, was the very sutta that I quoted just now about the oil and the rocks and the pond, whereby the Buddha illustrated to us that all these rituals that we humans love to do, very dramatic, but they do not serve any purpose beyond the fact that humans need closure. And here, on this 49th day, we seek closure for family, for friends, for relatives, for everyone. And I will read this from Sister Debbie to you all. It's called A Glorious Morning Tree. If you should wake up tomorrow and find that I am not here, remember our fellowship, and please don't shed your tears. For all who live must die. Are our days well lived? Did I walk a noble path? Have good seeds being planted? Just think of me with smiles. Hold my memory in your heart. For if you don't forget me, we'll never be apart. Is the Buddha dead? No. The Buddha is still alive in our minds. Where is the Buddha today? Not out there, not in my computer. The Buddha is in our minds. And when you sense the rush of wind and see the stillness of a glorious forest, don't be alarmed. It's only me. My elements live transformed. All become after we die. We are all recycled. And if we didn't get to say goodbye, please don't have a broken heart or sit around and cry. For I never left. If you look at Kimberly, Sister Debbie is now living in Kimberly. Remember the Dhamma and the peace within. I immersed in its joy, and its truth set me free. Just look around you. Everywhere is Dhamma and I. A cloud never dies. What we call a cloud is only a temporary combination of conditions and causes. When the conditions change, that too changes. It becomes rain, becomes water, and that goes on literally forever. So, Dhamma members, family members, I would now like to invite every one of us to take one beautiful flower from here, and we will place this beautiful flower in that little green pail of water as a gesture of honor, of respect to Sister Debbie, of remembering her, and also to say your final goodbyes. Have a good transit. You will have a good business class ticket at least to the next state of being. With that, may I invite Brother Yo to start, Kimberly to follow, and the rest of the family members, one by one, to take a flower, offer, say your last yes. Family members, friends, please. Huh? Okay. Friends, Can tell Kimberly to get the eulogies ready.
He just came in, so she just added me. One just came in.
Okay. Okay, Dhamma family members, we had just done this of offering our flowers as a gesture for us to seek closure and to seek forgiveness and to give forgiveness. Now is the time whereby we will play eulogies, eulogies given by Dhamma family members, relatives, and Sister Kimberly will be arranging to put it on in just a minute. So just give us a minute because I'm told that one eulogy just arrived now via video and she is trying to insert that in as well. So eulogies are a way in which we remember, recall the departed, and these eulogies serve as personal testimonials to a life that has been well lived. Okay, so can you just give us a minute? Sister Kimberly will put on the eulogies for us to listen to. There are 3 sets of Dhamma books. One set is the Breaking Myths, in which the pink color book, in which we try to explain many of the myths that has been associated to centuries of cultural influence. Another one on walking in the Buddha's footprint. And finally, a small little booklet on Buddha's wisdom, whereby there are many quotations on the teachings of the Buddha, put into a very colorful book full of illustrations that we hope will help you find peace of mind whenever you have any form of difficulties. Remember, the Buddha Dharma is like the candle that gives light, like a GPS of our lives, that gives us direction whenever we do not know whether to turn left, turn right, or go straight. So that gives us the refuge to the difficulties that we are facing.
only one long video first.
Okay, okay. Put first lah.
Yeah, put first, put first. Play my computer or
Okay
what?
lah.
I'm gonna play for it. We're gonna plug that right into the TV. Let us now start with our eulogies. The sound. I'll remove the sound.
I remember it was way past 2 years ago when I first became Catholic. With a professional background, she was known as the teacheress of the center. Anything about first aid, we went to that. And she would help us in any way she could. Our relationship mutual. From colleague to friends, and talk about anything, families, children, their studies, and even their jobs. That is known to her from the kindness, the generosity, and how she took the trouble and went all out to help whoever. I look up to her as a mentor in life. She advised me and helped me in many ways. I will miss that deeply. But I know that she is peacefully in heaven. I'm honored to be a friend. So patience. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. I have the privilege of knowing and working together with Sister Debbie in the conferences that you and I organize for a number of years. And I'm not surprised that Sister Debbie has left so many beautiful footprints wherever she goes. She has touched many hearts by her kindness and love. There was once we were talking about cooking, and I asked her, why does it look so wrinkled? Looks so happy. And Sister Debbie was laughing and said, let me tell you my secret. The very next time I got my mom said silky sweet. Say, hey, it is as smooth as alcohol. And every time I make CD, it reminds me of Sister Debbie and her smiling face. Many beautiful moments that we have spent together. Although Sister Debbie is only far on my side, but never on my hearts. Her life was like a garland of beautiful gifts that graced the earth with beauty, color, and grace. Thank you very much, Sister Debbie, for your love, your kindness, and for the memories that you have shared with me. Thank you very much.
So in here you can see every time she steam an egg, Sister Debbie is still alive.
It is such a blessing to get to know you in Dharma school. Such remarkable fate brought us together once more as colleagues. I have known you for 17 years, yet it felt like I met you just yesterday. I never imagined that today will be the day that we parted ways. It hurts to know that we crossed a bridge that we couldn't follow. I could only sincerely hope and bless you that you will come back with a healthy body, and maybe, who knows, that we might reconnect again. This message is from Connie. I've known Debbie since 2008. Within these 15 years of friendship, she was a sister, a co-worker, and a best friend to me. We have gone through many ups and downs together and have cultivated numerous beautiful memories. I will not forget how supportive she has been to me during the most challenging times of my life. Debbie is one of those friends that will always be there whenever you need and ensure you receive the utmost support. The sudden news definitely left me in tears. Hence, I am sincerely grateful to have her in my life. I honestly have so much to share and tell about that. However, to keep this message short and sweet, I will sum this up with one word: thankful. Debbie, you are gone but not forgotten in our hearts. This message is from Casey and Yoon. With deep condolences and heart out to you, Kimmy, and all related for the loss of a great wife, mother, friend, and a great neighbor. We will always remember her for her kindness, a dedicated mother and teacher for Kitty, and her marvelous yam cake she often cooked. We will indeed miss her very much.
Sukiwantu, Brother Yo, Kim, hello, and hi to Auntie Debbie too, Auntie Fafo. Thanks to Kim for organizing this special and creative video recording and giving me this opportunity to record a few words. I prepared some notes here. I got to know Kim due to Magas Youth, right, at SARS, and in one of the events, we need to practice some chanting. If I'm not wrong, it's together with Bante Asasi for one of our house visit and blessing event. So in one of the practice session, Auntie Debbie came and accompanied Kim. So in my mind back then, I was thinking, who is this lady? Because the rest of us youth members, but we have a parent there accompanying one of the members. So later on, I got to know that it's Auntie Debbie, Kim's mom. Thereafter, I've met Auntie Debbie and also other such events or even Chinese New Year. So we bump into each other. So during that moment, we're able to spend some time. We were able to spend some time chatting, laughing, and like part of us, one of us, like the youngsters. So I really appreciate the support, especially towards the youth events and being a dear friend to us as well. I feel Debbie, I can still remember your smile, the way you talk. So I really hope and wish you well and happy wherever you are. Thank you for being a great friend and a dear sister to me. Take care.
So thank you so much for the opportunity and such a moment to be the memorable moment of our beloved Auntie Davy. I first met Auntie Davy in her house during one of the New Year's. That was the first time I met her face to face. My first impression of Auntie Davy was like, well, she's exactly like how the book would describe, how the children would describe her mom. Very friendly, very patient, very kind-hearted, friendly and always smiling. Yeah, very dainty lady. And true enough, she's like that. Now, of course, after I talked to her a little bit more about, how you thought Kimberly when Yoon was younger, I realized she's not as a kind mom, as in she's quite a strict mom. Which is a great thing. This is why how Kimberly turned out to be such a good person. Talk about like sharing tips of parenting. She helped me a lot. While she's sharing the tips of how I should, what should I do in such a situation or not. Often in my head, I was thinking, if Auntie Debbie can go to this, I also can go to this. Like she set a role model to me. If I want to become a mother, I want to become like her. And this is how I view Auntie Debbie. Now, of course, I would like to share the moment, one of the picture that Kimberly took when I went to the house during the New Year. When Kimberly shared that photo with me, I was thinking in my head like, well, this photo it's been so long, but it feels like just yesterday she took this photo, and everything that happened in that photo is just very recently. And looking at this picture, I feel like I'm so genuinely happy, like listening to Auntie Debbie sharing how her tips. She was so engaging in this conversation with me. You can see that I am very happy listening. And Uncle Yo was at the back with a very sharp Yo and looking at the laptop, And it's a very, very nice moment. Generally, really happy. So it also gives me a lot like a mush feeling, when I see the photo and stuff. Sometimes I still can't believe that this happened so fast. And I'm really, really thankful that he took this picture. It's something that I will cherish forever. And of course, my mom, thanks to Auntie Debbie's sharing of secret recipe, how to make turmeric chicken. We're still eating that thanks to Auntie Debbie's sharing, which is something that it will continue in our family, that recipe. So yeah, it's something to gain from Auntie Debbie. And also I would like to share a screenshot of what Auntie Debbie talked to me. The last conversation. I very regret that I did not talk to her more. But this last message that she sent to me shows what kind of person she is. She will remain like that in our heart. As I mentioned, she's a very, very kind mother, right? She's not only kind looking, she's also very, very kind heart.
This one is really video review.
And
so you have to play one by one.
But I think this one is quite long. I don't want to drag
30 minutes. So you have
and I'm happy
I
that
don't want to drag too long because people will
if
lose
we talk
interest.
about who is Auntie Debbie, if someone asking
cannot
who is
have
Auntie
too
Debbie,
many,
which is Auntie Debbie. I
People will
guess
lose interest.
this
So I will have a
Shall we just play
screenshot
one
will
of
tell
just play
the
one.
episode.
one of
Yeah, just play one.
So this happened when I first delivered I delivered my second baby, and instead of her congratulating me for the new arrival of the baby, she mentioned about, oh, she take care of herself, don't work, etc. It feels like she knows how to say using the right words at the right moment, and this is one amazing trait of her. And I'm happy to say that she will forever be like that in my heart. To be honest, I'm not very good at this. So I would like to just add this section. And I would like to say to Kimberly and Anguyo that the loss is immeasurable, but so is the love that Auntie Debbie left behind for all of us. And
Just give me a second. Let's see this.
And Kimberly visited us in Hong Kong. We have a wonderful time of fellowship, moving around places in Hong Kong and tasting the local food. Unfortunately, we are not able to meet up in the past few years due to the pandemic.
Truly
But our hearts are always with you, Brother Jingming and Kimberly. Stay strong. The following are some of the photographs showing our fond memories with baby.
Okay, Dhamma family. So like to conclude this service by inviting everyone to a dedication of marriage now. In the Buddhist tradition, what we do at the end of any service, be it a funeral or be it a memorial service, is the dedication of marriage, whereby we wish to dedicate whatever meritorious deeds that have been done in the last hour or two to the person that's left us. And the dedication of service is symbolized by the dedication of marriage to Sister Debbie, and also to all beings, all devas, all seen and unseen beings, including everyone here. And it is symbolized by the pouring of water. Water is poured into vessels, and then later on this water will be poured into the root of a tree or a flower pot. And that's because water, like marriage, does not discriminate. Water goes everywhere, cloud and eyes. And we dedicate this marriage by touching the shoulders of each other, form a single unison mind, so that we allow one mind sharing whatever units, wherever merits that we had, and the listening to the Dhamma, the sharing of the Dhamma, the keeping of the precepts, the remembering of seniors, elderlies, and all our beloved ones is highly meritorious. So to that, chant, very simple Pali chant, Dhamme, which we are all familiar with, Dhamme Natinam Hotu Sukhitam Tunatayo, and chant this. We invite everyone, seen and unseen, present, to rejoice in this sharing of merits, so that with this sharing of merits, these wholesome deeds will rejoice, will generate more units that would also sit, to be born in the Dhamma, born in prosperity, to be born in peace. All right. Buddha Dhamma is not rest in peace, it's reborn, or we become peace. That let us have one mind as Sister Kimberly slowly pours the water, chanting Dhamme until she finishes pouring the water. After that, the Yoon will take the water outside and pour it into the root of a tree or a flower. Dhamme Nyatinam Hotu Sukhitam Tunatayo. 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 Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With this, on behalf of our family members, I thank every one of you for coming to this memorial service to remember Sister Debbie, to remember a life well lived, to celebrate a life well lived. With this, we seek closure. With this, we would like to proceed with our lives, the example given to us by Sister Debbie. And when you look at Sister Kimberly, you look at all her students, you look at the turmeric chicken and the steamed egg, you will remember that she lives in a cloud never dies. Thank you once again, Mahasadu to everyone, Sukhi Hontu, and I want to say on behalf of Sister Debbie, please enjoy your meal here. She would love that and she would want. Thank you. Yeah.
Now we will, while you